guys, welcome back to my channel. So I wanted to talk today about something that is kind of a sensitive subject, but it is something that's really important and it's something that I feel really strongly about, and I wanted to kind of just share my thoughts on this subject. As you can tell by the title, this is going to be a video about how to get rid of acne naturally, and by naturally I mean hopefully without the use of prescription medications. So like I said, I have a lot of thoughts on this topic, but keep in mind I am not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not any kind of medical expert, and yet at the same time I don't personally believe that you should have to be a medical expert to know how to take care of your own body. What I am is a licensed esthetician, so I do have a skin background and a skin education. I also am an avid researcher, and I definitely encourage all of you to become an avid researcher too. It's extremely important in this day and age to know how to take care of your body, because when it comes down to it, you're the only one who is responsible for your body, and when no one else is there to stand up for your health, you're the only one to do it. So in my opinion, it is of utmost importance to do your own research and do a lot of it. I've had a lot of really weird health issues, and I've had doctor after specialist after blah 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 tell me I don't know, or if they don't want to tell me I don't know, they give me a prescription that is A, very expensive, and B, causes more problems than it solves, and C, just doesn't make me feel better than when I started. So I'm just going to speak from my own experience of people that I know, and also from a little bit of my education that I do have in skincare. So I read in an article this quote that has really stuck with me, and I think it's something that's really kind of good to think about and a good perspective on kind of this topic of healthcare and how you should approach healthcare, in my opinion. So the quote is, "A mechanic couldn't fix your car unless he understood how cars work." Now this is super important and really applicable in this case, because you can see any number of doctors or specialists, and a lot of the times they don't necessarily focus too much on addressing the causes of issues, but more often, at least in my experience and the experience of those that I've talked to, they will address things with like medications or like quick fixes kind of thing, or treatments that might just put a band-aid over the issue rather than going to the cause of the issue and knocking it out at the source. I've had experience with medications that are meant to treat a condition, and then once you stop taking it or applying it or whatever, the condition comes back 10 times worse, and that's very common, and there are a lot of things for which that will happen. So in my opinion, I would much rather just go to the source of something and solve it at the source, and then not have to worry about it anymore. Now, the things that I'm going to talk about are not necessarily going to work for everyone, because acne is something that is caused by many different things, and it's different for every person. But generally, there are two different types of acne. There are many types of acne, but there are two different causes of acne. There are external causes and there are internal causes. Just kind of as a general understanding of what the skin does, it's your largest organ. You've heard that 1,000 times. It's also the barrier that protects your body on the inside from the harmful things around you on the outside. But it's also kind of a window into your health. So a lot of times things that are presenting on your skin are an indication of something that is wrong on the inside. Now, when we talk about external causes of acne, that's usually bacterial causes. So, you know, maybe you don't wash your face as often as you should, maybe your sheets are not clean, maybe your hairspray is like rubbing off on your pillowcase and then irritating your face, things like that, like things that come in contact with your skin and cause your pores to become clogged. So just because acne is caused by clogged pores does not mean that clogged pores are always caused by something from the outside. The easiest thing to do as a first step when kind of looking at how you want to address your acne or your breakouts is to test all of these external factors, because like I said, they're easy, they're environmental, there are a lot of times things that you can control. So for example, washing your sheets often. Some people with acne wash their sheets every single day, or at least have enough pairs of sheets and pillowcases that they can change them every single day. That's a very easy fix compared to some of the other solutions that there are available. Also things like keeping your phone sanitized because it's right up against your skin, washing your hands a lot, and avoiding touching your face. Things like moisturizing your skin, because your skin is a barrier. Like I said before, it keeps the bad things outside from getting in and disturbing what is on the inside. So if your skin is properly hydrated and moisturized, that barrier is going to be very, very solid. If it's not, if it's dry like my hands right now, you get little tiny, tiny cracks that are big enough for bacteria and other nasty, ugly things to get in there, and it causes a lot of problems, acne being one of them. Other things like cleaning your makeup brushes, things that are kind of common sense like that, it's a really good place to start to try and rule out things that are causing your acne and things that are not causing your acne. Also things like benzoyl peroxide, which is a topical treatment, that's basically an antibacterial agent. So if it is caused by bacteria, that may help, but for a lot of people it doesn't make their acne go away, and that's because their acne is caused by something else. Now, if you're someone for whom those first ideas don't work, it's likely that your acne is caused by something internal rather than something external. Now, acne is a reaction on the outside of your body, like I said, to something that is disturbed on the inside. A lot of times that is systemic inflammation, and if you can address that inflammation, that's the best way to take care of things like acne, and I'm sure you'd be surprised by a lot of other things that might feel better after you address that inflammation. For me, I actually have personal experience with this. I've had inflammation in my body for a really, really long time. It caused me a ton of symptoms. Like, I can't even, the list is actually very, very long. One of them being constant neck and back pain and jaw pain, just in my joints and my muscles and everywhere. And I've had that since like junior high, which is like not really normal. But once I addressed the inflammation inside my body, all of those went away. All of them went away. Chronic fatigue, chronic pain, I mean, just tons and tons of stuff. Skin issues. A lot of these tips, you guys, are just very common sense. They're not even technical. You don't have to go to medical school to learn these things. They're just kind of things that you would do if you thought through it long enough. The first thing that I would do is go to your medicine cabinet and check all of the medications that you take. See if any of the side effects are acne, because a lot of medications do have that as a side effect. Things like steroids, things like oral contraceptives, things like antibiotics can play a part in causing your acne because they help to cause the inflammation. Another thing that you can try is to approach it from a dietary perspective. So in my opinion, this is the biggest thing you can do, not only for your health, but for things specific like acne. There are many, many different foods that your body could be reacting to. They could be causing inflammation in your body. Your body could just not be able to handle it, and maybe you don't know and you have no other indication except for maybe your acne. I have a really good example, and it's a little story, so let's have a story time. So my mom had really bad acne. This is what she tells me. I don't remember ever seeing this or noticing this, but she had really bad acne for 30 years. She tried literally everything. She's one of those people who will do her own research like me. Eventually, she was put on antibiotics and took those for a really long time, which is, we know now that that's really, 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 really harmful to your body. And even that didn't help. Her acne still wasn't going away. And the reason for it is because not only were they not addressing the actual cause of the acne, but they were actually contributing to it, because antibiotics cause more inflammation. The reason that I brought up this story in conjunction with the whole diet topic was because finally my mom started doing her own research and heard that sometimes if you stop eating dairy, your acne will go away. So after 30 years, my mom stopped eating dairy and her acne has never come back. Now, I'm not saying that's easy. I did it a couple years ago. It's tough at first, but oh my gosh, how worth it would it be if that was the only thing you needed to do to get rid of your acne? Another thing that's really, really important, as we know, acne can be caused by hormones, and believe it or not, your hormones and how they behave in your body is actually affected by your diet as well. And if you suspect that your acne is hormonal, I would do some research into hormones and diet. Find what it is that's going to bring your hormones into a good balance and hopefully alleviate the symptoms that you're having on your skin. Then there's the one that I think should be the biggest priority, and that is addressing your gut health. This is something that is kind of like new and trendy, if you will, in the health world and the nutrition world, but it is something that has really, really changed my life and a lot of people that I know as well. And the cool thing about it is that it does not involve a prescription. It does not involve expensive treatments. It involves changing your diet. So it's actually really, really in-depth and complicated, but to put it simply, your gut is full of a lot of different strains of bacteria. I mean, tons. It's basically an entire ecosystem made up of organisms that are not human that basically run your entire body. Poor gut health is caused mostly by things like prescriptions and things like steroids and antibiotics, because basically those things just go in, and think about it, an antibiotic, it's made to kill bacteria, but what it does is it actually kills the good bacteria with the bad. So the thing that's making you sick, but also the things that can make you healthy. Those gut bacteria basically represent your immune system. Those are so indicative of how well your immune system is functioning that it is extremely important to keep those gut bacteria in balance and keep it healthy. And the other thing that causes your gut bacteria to be in an unhealthy balance or out of balance is a poor diet. Things like processed foods, things like sugar. Sugar's probably the worst. Things like gluten for some people, things like dairy for some people, anything that has added hormones, synthetic chemicals, or synthetic like vitamins, and foods that have a high glycemic index. So that means that foods that cause your blood sugar to spike really quickly. So the problem with an unhealthy gut, well, there are many problems, but the major problem is the fact that it causes a systemic inflammation. In the case of a lot of conditions and diseases, I am so thankful for medications and advances in medical technology, because they have saved so many lives. But in situations where there are other approaches, I would love to see more people taking those approaches instead, because not only is it going to make you feel better, save you money as opposed to prescriptions, but it's also going to take care of the problem rather than just pretending it's not there. I highly encourage you to look into how you can change your diet and your lifestyle in order to bring your body back into a place where it can heal itself and where it doesn't have to kind of freak out on the outside because it is calm on the inside. So I know that was a lot of information. I hope that you guys learned something, or at least were inspired to do your own research. Honestly, I think you should fact check everything. I think you should always cross-check it with your own research and what makes sense to you. The things that I've presented today are just a starting point for you guys. For anybody who is struggling with acne or really any health issue, there's a ton of good information out there. There's a ton of bad information out there too, but you have to take your common sense along with you. But there are so many health issues that are reversible. So they're things that you have control over, and I really hope that people can start to feel empowered to do that for themselves. Now, with that said, I do not think it's okay to have some kind of major issue that's causing you a lot of trouble or a lot of pain, or is really pressing, and just not go to the doctor because you want to do your own research. I think that if it's something that is an emergency or something that is really pressing, you need to go get help. It's when the doctor gives you a blank look and says, I don't know what this is, or writes you a prescription without really asking you a lot of questions, that I think a light bulb needs to go off and you need to take your health into your own hands to a certain degree. Leave a comment below asking any questions that you might have. I have tons of ideas for things like ways that I've changed my diet. I have tons of recipes if you need. Leave me stories, leave me your experience, leave me your thoughts, your arguments, whatever it is, I would love to hear it. But I'm gonna go now. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you've not subscribed to my channel already, I would love to have you do so and join the family. I have the best viewers on the internet. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!